Today's read aloud is Verdi, and it's by Janelle Cannon. She's also the author of Stella Luna. On a small tropical island, the sun rose high above the steamy jungle. A mother python was sending her hatchlings out into the forest the way all mother pythons do. "Grow up big and green as the trees' leaves," she called to her little yellow babies as they happily scattered among the trees. But Verdi dawdled. He was proudly eyeing his bright yellow skin. He especially liked the bold stripes that zigzagged down his back. Why the hurry to grow up big and green, he wondered. Maybe some of the older snakes in the jungle could tell him. Verdi ventured into the treetops to look for them. Umbles, Aggie, and Ribbon were lazing on some branches nearby. Verdi peered at their droopy green bodies. "It's not polite to stare," chided Aggie. Umbles burped and groaned. "It's taken nearly 4 weeks for that last lizard to digest. I surely do like lizards, but lizards don't like me." "Why don't lizards like you?" asked Verdi. "Don't interrupt," Umbles grumbled. "Dear me," whined Aggie, "if I don't shed soon, this itchy skin will drive me bananas." Verdi tapped a tune with his tail as he waited to speak. "Stop that, Verdi. It makes me nervous," Ribbon complained. "Besides, you'll never grow up to be properly green, always interrupting and constantly fidgeting." Verdi couldn't imagine being in such a hurry to be like them, and he really wanted to keep his sporty stripes. Hoping to find snakes that weren't so boring, Verdi slipped away. Dozer was snoring in a tree not far from the others. "Hello," said Verdi. "Do you want to climb trees with me?" "I'm tired," Dozer growled. "Go do a few laps around the jungle, okay?" Verdi's heart sank. Were not only lazy and boring, they were rude. At the top of a very tall tree, Verdi gripped one branch with his tail and another with his little snake jaws. "I will never be lazy, boring, or green," he thought. "I will jump and climb and keep moving so fast that I will stay yellow and striped forever." Then Verdi let go. Look at him go. Whee! I like how the author doesn't even have to use words here. We just can see what Verdi's doing. He's flying through the air. From a distance, the Greens watched. "Oh my," they chorused. Ribbon shook his head. "At this rate, he'll be lucky to make it to his first molt." Aggie nodded. "He's likely to put an eye out on a branch." Umbles moaned. "He may not live to turn green." But one day, Verdi's skin began to peel, revealing a pale green stripe stretching along his whole body. "Gak!" he gasped. "How can this be? I'm the speediest snake in the jungle, and I'm still turning green." He raced down to the river, grabbing up a mouthful of rough leaves. Is he going to be able to stop himself from turning green? Verdi flung himself into the water. "If I can't run this green off, I'll scrub it off," he thought. There he is, using the leaves, trying to scrub the green. His frantic splashing caught the eye of a large bottom feeder, cruising the murky depths. "Yum," the old fish hummed. "Lunch." Look what the fish sees up here. Before the fish could haul Verdi under, the frightened snake bit him on the nose. "Hapoo!" With a blast of his rubbery lips, the great fish sneezed, sending Verdi into the air, slapping onto the soggy shore. Verdi skidded out of reach. close. That's what he said. Whew, that was close, he sputtered. Every inch of his body was covered with wet, gloopy mud. Kind of lumpy, kind of brown. Sure beats being green. So he left the mud on. But the soft brown muck dried into a hard gray shell, and Verdi could barely move. If he even budged, the stuff cracked off in jagged chunks. As each piece fell away, Verdi could see that his body was even greener than before. "This is terrible," cried Verdi. He pictured himself hanging around in droopy loops, itching and complaining and worrying all day like the old greens. He looked up into the sky where the sun blazed a beautiful yellow, just the color he used to be, and then he pulled a vine to the top of the tree. Does he want to be green? Launching himself from the treetop, Verdi startled a flock of colorful birds. He became dizzy with delight, sure the bright sun and his lofty speed would turn him golden again. And in his joy, Verdi forgot he would fall back to the earth. So he launched himself up, but guess what? If you go up, you're gonna come down. That's right. Whippity whappity flip flap wham! Plummeting through the trees, Verdi landed in a crooked sprawl across a log on the forest floor. He couldn't move. "Help," he croaked. As usual, the greens had been watching Verdi's antics. They moved quickly to where he lay. "Didn't we say it would come to this?" Umble said, shaking his head. Aggie sighed. Lucky thing he still got 2 good eyes. They gently lifted Verdi up to a safer place where they could watch over him while he healed. Oh, poor Verdi. What do you think's going to happen while he's healing? While he's laying there healing? Neatly splinted to a branch, Verdi had no choice but to listen to the greens as they gabbed. "Remember how I used to streak across the forest floor?" Ribbon asked. "Quick as lightning," answered Aggie. "And I climbed giant trees like they were nothing. They grew taller then, you know. The things I dared to run down and swallow," Umbles bragged. "Wild boar were no match for me." Verdi was astonished. That means he's surprised. "You used to run and climb and hunt giant pigs? What happened?" "Ribbon crashed just like you," Aggie replied. "I took a terrible fall and almost put an eye out. Then old Umbles here nearly choked to death. Now we all prefer the quiet life, a warm perch, a little sunshine, and an occasional good meal." The greens rambled on about their days of glory, and Verdi settled in on his branch. So did they used to be kind of like Verdi? They used to run and be fast. Finally, one afternoon, Humble said, "Looks like you're ready to go again." He carefully untied Verdi from the branch. "You are welcome to come with us," said Aggie. Ribbon agreed. The 3 greens slipped quietly back into the forest. Verdi wasn't ready to join them. He wasn't sure where he wanted to go, so he just stretched and stayed put until the sun went down, and he listened to the forest come alive. There's the forest at night. He's just listening to all the animals. Time passed. The sun and moon took turns in the sky. Verdi marveled as the full moon grew thinner every night, and then he watched patiently as it slowly grew round again. He wondered why he hadn't noticed that before. Verdi became so green that he blended perfectly with the leaves. He was so still that other creatures walked right by without seeing him. Can you see him? eyes right here. He did turn green, didn't he? One fine morning, as Verdi basked in the sunshine, two small yellow snakes approached. They tapped and fidgeted as they stared. "Get a load of that old green guy," one of them whispered. "Do you think he ever moves?" The other snickered. "I seriously doubt it." "They're just like I used to be," thought Verdi, "and I'm now what I was afraid to be." He looked at his big green body and he slowly smiled. "How would you like to climb trees with me?" he asked. "With you?" The yellows were astonished. "I'll even show you my fancy figure 8, Verdi replied, though he was a little worried about putting his eye out. With practice, the three snakes performed a perfect triple figure 8. Leaping and looping with his little striped friends, Verdi laughed. "I may be big and very green, but I'm still me." Verdi was kind of afraid to change, wasn't he, for something different to happen? But he found out that that was the way it was supposed to be, and everything worked out okay. He was still himself. He was just green. Goodbye.